All right, let's go on a bit of a journey today. We're going to connect the dots from the money that hits your bank account to the massive global industries it fuels, and then, most importantly, how you can actually build a career right in the thick of it all.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the basic rules of money. Then we'll see how that money powers a whole economy built on vacations. After that, we'll lay out a real roadmap for a career in finance. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about the big one, making your money start working for you.
Okay, let's dive right into our first section, the rules of money. And we're going to start with an experience that I'm sure most of us can relate to, getting that very first paycheck. Ah, the mystery of the first paycheck. You know that feeling, right? You see that big, exciting number on your offer letter, say $2,000. But then you check your bank account and it's only $1,456. So where did the rest of it go? Well, that's the government taking its share. It can feel like your money just vanished into thin air, but really, it's taxes. You'll often hear it called the cost of civilization, and it's what pays for things like roads, schools, all that public stuff.
And believe me, that share comes in a lot of different forms. You've got federal and state income tax on what you earn. Then there's sales tax on pretty much everything you buy. If you invest and make money, boom, capital gains tax. And on top of all that, you've got Social Security and Medicare, which are kind of like a forced savings plan for your retirement and healthcare. The whole system is basically designed to take a little piece of almost every single dollar that changes hands.
Okay, so you take whatever's left over and you deposit it in the bank. Now what do you picture? Probably a big, secure vault, right? With your money just sitting there, safe and sound, waiting for you. Well, that's not really how it works, at all. In fact, the reality is your money is put to work the second it gets there.
You see, the moment your paycheck hits your account, the bank turns into this kind of financial matchmaker. There's a system called fractional reserve banking, which basically means they only have to keep a tiny fraction of your deposit on hand. What about the rest? Well, it's immediately loaned out to someone else, someone who needs a loan for a car or to start a business or buy a house. Your money is never just sitting still. It's constantly moving through the economy.
And what's the engine that powers all this lending and borrowing? It's interest. Now, you've got two main types. Simple interest is pretty straightforward. It's just a flat fee on the original amount you borrowed or lent. But compound interest, oh, that's where things get really interesting. That's where the magic or the trouble really happens. It's when your interest starts earning its own interest, creating this incredible snowball effect that just grows and grows.
And I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the two sides of that coin. Think about it. If you're the one paying compound interest, say on a credit card debt, it can feel like your worst enemy, turning a small problem into a huge one. But if you're the one collecting it through investments, it becomes your best unpaid employee working for you 24/7. It all comes down to a simple choice. Are you paying it or are you earning it?
All right, so we've looked at the nitty-gritty of a paycheck and a bank account. Now, let's zoom way out. Let's see how all of these little individual financial decisions add up to fuel a massive global industry. We're going to look at an economy on vacation.
So think about the last time you went on a vacation. Every single dollar you spent created this huge economic ripple effect. And you can see here, the biggest chunk of that money, over a third of it, goes to recreation and entertainment. Then you have food and drinks, a place to stay, shopping. It all adds up. Every time you buy a souvenir or a meal, you're supporting this incredibly complex web of businesses and jobs. It really is a massive economic engine, and it's all powered by our desire to just get away from it all.
And in the world of tourism, not all destinations are created equal. They're often broken down into two types. You have your primary destinations. These are the big ones, the main event. Think Agra and the Taj Mahal. It's the whole reason you're traveling, and it pulls people in from all over the world. Then you have secondary destinations. These are more like stopovers on the way to the main attraction, like Meerut on the way to Agra. Understanding this flow, this travel pattern, is absolutely crucial for the entire tourism industry.
But, this powerful economic engine has a definite flip side. For every positive, there's often a negative. Sure, tourism can be amazing for a local area. It brings in money, it creates jobs, it can even lead to better roads and utilities. But on the other hand, all those tourists can drive up the prices of everything from food to land. It can put a huge strain on local resources like water and power. And what happens in the off-season? You get seasonal unemployment. It's a really, really delicate balancing act for any community that depends on tourism. Okay, so we've seen how money works on the personal level and on a huge global scale. Now, let's bring the focus right back to you.
How can you actually build a career mastering this whole complex system?
And this quote right here is probably one of the most important things to understand if you're starting out today. A strong GPA, good grades, that might get your foot in the door for an interview. But solid, real-world skills, that's what actually gets you hired. The game has changed.
Think about it. University is awesome for learning the theory, solving problems from a textbook, writing papers. But the real world wants to know what you can do. Can you actually build a financial model from scratch in Excel? Can you look at a company's performance data and then, and this is the key part, can you explain the story that those numbers are telling? That's the gap you need to focus on bridging.
So, here's your roadmap. This is the actionable plan. Number 1, forget theory for a second and focus on real-world skills. Master tools like Excel and Power BI. 2, start networking from day 1. Don't wait. 3, build a project portfolio. You need proof you can do the work. 4, follow a clear, structured learning plan. And 5, and this is a big one, prioritize getting real experience over getting a big, fancy company name on your resume.
All right, we've talked about how you earn money, and we've talked about how to build a career in the system. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it's the most important part. We're going to talk about how to shift from trading your time for money to making your money work for you.
The very first enemy you have to understand and fight is inflation. It's often called the silent thief, and for good reason. It's the force that makes the money you've saved less valuable over time. $100 today is still $100 in 5 years, but it'll buy you a lot less stuff. If your money is just sitting in a savings account as cash, you are slowly but surely losing purchasing power.
So, what's the best weapon against inflation? It's investing. It's about putting your money to work so it can grow faster than prices are rising. And your basic toolkit is pretty simple. You've got stocks, which are basically tiny little ownership slices of companies. You have bonds, where you're essentially loaning money to a government or a big company. You can invest in real estate, or you can buy funds, which are just convenient baskets that hold a mix of stocks and bonds. These are the fundamental building blocks.
But let's take a step back. What even is wealth? At its absolute core, wealth comes from creating value. Look at Steve Jobs and the iPhone. He created something that millions and millions of people found incredibly valuable, and they were more than happy to pay for it. The fundamental rule is this: the more value you can provide to other people, the more you have the potential to earn.
And what's the one secret ingredient that amplifies everything else? Your skills, the value you create, your investments? It's time. Time is your most valuable asset. Building real wealth isn't some get-rich-quick scheme you see online. It's not built in days. It's built over decades. Time is the true engine of growth, especially when you pair it with the power of compounding interest we talked about earlier.
And this number right here just brilliantly illustrates that long-term power. We're talking 7 figures. And the amazing thing is, this isn't about being some Wall Street genius or getting incredibly lucky. We're talking about an ordinary person with a modest paycheck who can retire with that much money simply by investing consistently and giving compound growth enough time to do its work. It's proof that you don't have to outsmart the system, you just have to participate in it. So, let's wrap this all up with one final thought. Your money is a tool. Your time is an asset. They are the 2 most powerful resources you have. And the ultimate question you have to ask yourself is this: who are they working for? Are they building someone else's dream, or are they building yours?